guess Darren copped a late sucker punch at the end there, but across the 90 minutes, what did you make of the flow of the game?
I mean, yeah, disappointing to concede, late. I thought we played very well. We thought we were very good in possession. Thought we created some good chances. Ultimately we needed to have that moment and score a goal. And so it's tough for the guys. We put a lot into preparing for this game. Everybody knew how important it was, how big a game it was, and so to get caught at the end there is it's a tough one. I thought we played pretty well.
I guess as part of your preparations now, though, you've obviously qualified for the World Cup, preparing for that, coming up against potential World Cup opposition tonight and on Tuesday. Feel another important step towards the World Cup?
Yeah, I mean, every time we get together, it's important. We've creating a real good culture and connection and just building every time we get together. We had a good June window where we beat Côte d'Ivoire. And we came into this, really excited about these games, against a highly ranked team. Australia 24 in the world, got some good players. And I thought we gave them a really good game. It is half time, I suppose, with the Ashes, the way that sort of competition is. We had to manage a few players today, and that's perhaps the way the game turned the way it did. But I thought when we were, good, I thought we were pretty good.
Ryan Thomas making his return to the All Whites today. I guess, what did you make of his performance? And two, he did come off. Was that just precautionary? Everything all right with him?
Yeah, he's fine. I thought he was excellent. It's great to have Ryan back. We've missed him. He's a super player, really intelligent. He's come back in after 6 years, gelled straight back in with the boys. I mean, he knows most of them anyway. It's like having a big new signing coming into the country, which is great. Yeah, he's fine. He knows his own body, so he knows when it's getting to that stage where it probably needs to make a change, and we've got a few players like that, So it's definitely part of the game today where we're managing minutes, but we're also trying to win the game, which is disappointing.
Do you feel there was enough there to know you can overturn this in Auckland? Because arguably you had the better chances, just couldn't put them in. But what would it mean to just get that victory over, just mentally over Australia? Because it's been 23 years, but tonight
people keep reminding me.
But obviously on the balance of play tonight, you probably easily could have come away with the win. So just going into Auckland now, there's more than enough signs there.
Oh, definitely. The boys are gutted. We just lost to Australia, so everyone's really disappointed. But we played well. We know we played well. We know there's still improvements can be made. And football is that game of moments. And we didn't take our moments, and then the lad scores the goal at the end. And we lose the game 1-0, which is a tough one to take. But there's enough in the game. I think everybody saw the game. There's enough in there to go. We're heading in the right direction as a team. And there's more to come from us as well.
Darren, do you remember a time when Trans-Tasman football was stronger than this in terms of both teams being at pretty high, if not historically strong levels?
You think it was higher previously?
No, I'm saying it's probably in terms of both temes being at high levels.
I mean, definitely. From our point of view, the players that we're able to select from now, we're missing players at the moment. Kakache, Stamanic, Garbett. There's other players that are not here, and yet we've still got this really strong squad. So I'm really lucky at the moment. I'm able to monitor more professional players than New Zealand's ever been able to do, and we've got players playing at higher levels. And Chris Wood's scoring 20 goals in the Premier League, which is outstanding, amazing. So we're in a good place. And Australia also, they're getting so many players now moving into good leagues around Europe and Asia. It's good signs for this part of the world.
Are you hopeful the Oceania Pro League coming through, and maybe not at a senior level anytime soon, but maybe the way that strengthens Pacific-based football, that could strengthen their junior international sides, who can then give Kiwi junior international sides a better challenge? Are you hopeful that can slowly bring up the level of your competition and thus improve New Zealand football? Yeah,
definitely. The inclusion of Auckland FC has been great for the country. It's pretty much doubled the opportunities for young Kiwis to become professional players and pathways. So, if we had another team there or the extra teams in the OFC Pro League, then yeah, great. There's more pathways for players to start. And I think the A League has sort of shown for us and for Australia that it's a great league to start careers off and to progress from. You've players, you Australian players that you've seen today and other players that didn't come on. Recent A-League players have gone to good clubs and progressed their careers. So yeah, it's growing. It's definitely growing in New Zealand and Australia.
I asked you about Ryan specifically, but anyone with injury concerns coming out of tonight?
No, a few niggles. A few people a bit sore. But I think we were able to manage most of it. Anyone that we knew was starting to tighten up, we were able to get off in regards to Eli and Sarpreet. Obviously Chris, we're managing his minutes as well. He's such an important player for us and for Nottingham Forest. And I think you guys as well realise the amount of travel these guys do to come all the way back. Most of our guys and your guys from Europe, it's 3 flights, 3 stopovers, arriving Tuesday night, Wednesday morning, some of our guys play Friday night, turn around, go to New Zealand and play again, then try and get back for club games at the weekend. It's really tough for them. It's challenging, but they all love it. They all love representing the country, and they've all come back. That's why it's disappointing for us that we end up losing a game where we probably didn't deserve to.
What was the thinking about the substitutions you made? Was it to impact the game? Was it more just to get players on the park and give them minutes?
If I'm honest, we're probably mostly around managing players. We had some pre-planned things for some players that we knew wouldn't play 90 minutes, and then like I say, we got a few players that were starting to feel a couple of injuries, and it would have been nice for us to be able to do what Aussie did and throw some young strikers on, because we had them on the bench with young Luke Brooks-Smith and Jesse Randall and Logan Rogerson, who's not so young, but we didn't get that opportunity to really push for the win because of maybe some of the factors that happened within the game.
I just had a question in regards to one of your players that you subbed on, Finn Sermon.
Yep.
He's having a fantastic season in the MLS. You're the head coach in New Zealand. What are your thoughts around his season so far? Do you think he'll get more minutes come Tuesday night?
Yeah, Finn's doing great, and I've known Finn for a long time. He was captain of our under-20 team, that I took a few years back. So he's a very good young player and doing great at Portland. And he's now, when you look at the 2 that played tonight, Boxall was outstanding, and Tyler Bindon is a really good young player. Finn Sermon's very good, so that gives us a really big headache. We ended up with the 3 of them on, but it's not something we have done regularly, play the 3 of them together. So it's becoming harder, the decisions. When I'm leaving Finn Sermon out, who's captain of Portland and playing every week in the MLS, it shows some of the depth that we talked about earlier that we have available to us now.
Speaking on depth, you guys also had Brooke Smith and of course Henry Gray, the 2 young players, both getting maiden call-ups, and obviously didn't feature tonight, but got to be around that highly level aspect. Obviously it's good that you guys are starting to sort of blood in this young talent, especially as you get closer to World Cup 2026, where you might be trying to get these young players to sort of feature in those big moments. Yeah,
definitely. It's been great for them. They've got an under-20 World Cup coming up in a couple of weeks. So this was a really we lost a couple of players and looked for replacements, and we decided to go with the 2 young lads. To give them the experience of being around Chris Wood and everybody, for the 10 days, but also knowing, in 2 weeks' time they're going to Chile for the Under-20 World Cup, and they're both going to be really important players for the Under-20s. So, part of what we do is look at our system. How can we help the Under-20s, because we know those players are going to get great experience and end up being all white. So, yeah, both got big futures.
And just another thing, you mentioned you still have a couple of players missing from a full squad. So, do you think, how close are you to sort of finding that New Zealand 2026 squad that's going to head to North America? Because of course, you have mentioned the depth, it goes a long, long way, and you must imagine you're not going to be short of options come next July.
It's going to get tough. We're looking ahead. There's going to be some hard decisions. We've got some good depth, but it's still a long time. It's still a long time for players to play their way in and create, have that form to push for their place, at the World Cup. So it's not really something that we're looking at right now. But I mean, we've got another window in October, another window in November, where we'll be picking squads, and yeah, we're definitely getting closer. And I feel like the players are starting to see that as well, and it's getting pretty competitive.
Any further questions from anybody? Cool. Awesome. Thanks everybody.
See you all in Auckland.
I wish. Wish me the money.
Hopefully, it'll be a bit warmer. It was cold.